Hey y'all, welcome to another interview, and I have Kate here to talk to me today. Hey Kate.
Hey.
Thank I'm super excited to talk to you. I kind of dived into your books, I think, the beginning of this year, if I'm not mistaken, yours and Chris's, and they're fun and nostalgic, and I don't know, there's just something about it. So, how did you guys even get into this? Like, first off, you come up with ideas, and both of you guys are writing them? That just sounds crazy.
It's in um how did we end up? We were writing solo when we met, which was back in I guess 2016. So it's been almost 10 years now. And it was kind of a weird coincidence. I was writing romance, and he was writing kind of romantic thriller type books. His first book that he came out with, I think that really started to take off was 5 p.m. And so we just chatted and stuff. We met actually in one of those sci-fi Facebook groups, and we both had the same opinions about Star Wars at the time. So we kind of exchanged
What a foundation.
manuscripts as you do, and that's how that rolled out. And I really liked how he approached his writing. It had a really interesting voice to it, and I just kept reading and reading to try and find out what happened next. And I guess he liked my writing too. So, so we just came up with ideas to start writing a Legacy Hunter, which was our first co-written series, which was science fiction. And so that took us that's 7 books, right? So that took us a few years to get through. So during that time, we were basically practicing with how we were going to be approaching this. And we often come up with ideas that we talk about, obviously, online in chat, because Chris lives in Australia. I live in Canada. We're on about as opposite the sides of the planet as you can possibly be, because I live in Ontario, Canada.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's like it's very far. Yeah, exactly. So we're not even anywhere remotely in the same time zone. So it's interesting. We'll just message each other and reply when we can. And there's about, I think, maybe 2 or 3 hours of a day when we actually are awake at the same time and available to chat. But, we both have our lives too and our families. So trying to fit everything in can be a challenge. But after Legacy Hunter, my son actually came up with the idea for Mall Priest, and we felt like we just needed a break from writing romance and science fiction. And so we decided, okay, horror, because we all like horror. I've always loved horror. It's just not something I had really dabbled in much. So Mall Priest was actually our very first horror story ever written, and it flew off the shelves. Like that was like it blew our minds how well that book actually did. And we just had so much fun writing it together, coming up with ideas for the characters and the storyline. It just evolved over time. We really wanted it to be in this cool enclosed place with a shopping mall. Chris, it's hard to explain how we blend the ideas together, but he's really, really good with names of things and quirky details and stuff like that. Whereas he's a pantser. I'm a
Oh, you
plotter.
guys are so
So
opposite. How
that
does
kind of
this work?
we are. We're totally opposite. So I'm kind of like
Oh,
a revisionist. So when he comes, he writes faster than I do. I've learned to write faster as through the process has gone, but I very anxious about making error, right? So I would just keep revising what I had written and never get anywhere. Whereas Chris is like, oh, just put it down. Doesn't matter. We'll fix it later type.
it'll work
And
out.
so I've learned, oh, for sure, right? But I've learned from him in that respect too, because I can see how that works. Um, so I think we both kind of learn from each other. And what you end up seeing is my revisions. Sometimes I've added like a whole other chapter in there, but the voice, you can't tell the difference. Chris and I have just worked so long together now, I guess over 10 years, just developing that style where I know what he means by what he's saying. So I can just tweak it a little bit or, just write in the same kind of thing. And I think that in our new book coming out, it came from the flower shop down under. Big long name. Because it's set in Australia, that was a challenge for me because I obviously don't live there and I've never actually been there. So getting the voice of the characters was interesting. But Chris assures me that I am now an official honorary Australian from going through all
Oh
of
my
this
goodness.
and basically living in Australia in my head for, gosh, at least 6 weeks, if not 2 full months, just going through the book and going through revisions and adding things in or whatever else we needed to change and stuff like that. And through the process of creating all of that together, I think this stretched us as writers to do this story. It is probably the most literary of all the books we have done yet. And I think it's just got I think our books have always had a surprising amount of depth for people when they read them because they think, oh, this is just going to be just a humorous, silly concept, right?
Seriously.
Because, yeah, if you think about mall priest, it's just a bizarre concept with a priest and a rock star and a demon all
It's so much
in
more.
a shopping mall on Christmas Eve, and then it just chaos happens, right? But it's that kind of depth that we have with the characters and the world building that we put into there that just brings it all out. So if you like that kind of stuff in our previous books, you will absolutely love this next book. It is our best one yet. It is long, but it is our best one yet. So I'm excited for people to see that. And I'm super excited about the cover that we just revealed the other day.
I was just about to say that.
That's done.
Like, I've liked the other two covers, of course, but the cover on the new one, it is just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way that happened was I had done the original cover for this latest book, the Flower Shop one, with the idea in mind that it was going to match Pumpkin Patch, and it was going to be, I guess, a shorter book, the similar length, and it was just going to be kind of a really spiderly Halloween story, right? And that cover was perfect for that. Then when we wrote it, it became something much more. So then we had to change the style of the book because it just wasn't going to match. And marketing wise, if your book cover does not match what your story is, it's going to set up reader expectations that aren't going to follow through.
And then you
right?
get bad.
So luckily, well, that's right. And we really try very hard not to disappoint our readers. We really want our stories to be a really nice experience for our readers. We want them to be fun and enjoyable, and so that when you put it down at the end, you're satisfied. It's like having a good meal. That's the kind of thing we hope for, anyway. So we needed to change the cover, and luckily we have an artist who we've worked through and become very good friends with, Jared Elvin of Micmacs. He's an Australian artist, and he had already been working on some art for the interior of the book because we had hired him for that. And so we'd asked him to create a poster. And when I saw him, what he had done, because he had based it on my original ideas of having a skull and the flower shop and spider on the skull and flowers, he just took that and he absolutely blew it out of the park. Like, it was just amazing. And I said, oh, okay, thank you, because that's going to be my new cover.
Beautiful work.
It just captured the vibe. And I'm like, you don't mind just adding in the back to that and expanding on it. All last minute, of course, no problem, no pressure. And he agreed to that, thankfully. So it's going to be not just our ebook cover, but the whole book. And the art on the inside, of course, will match. I'm very excited to see what that's going to look like, especially the hardcover edition.
Yes, I
Yeah,
definitely
it's going to
have
be
to.
just one of those books I'm going to be like holding and going, oh my God, my pretty thing.
I know. I have to fill out your form soon because I absolutely need one to go with Slayers. But like that, as soon as I knew I needed it to begin with, but when I seen the cover reveal for the new one, I
Yeah.
was like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, there's time, right? There's lots of time. We're not sending out invoices even until like later in October. So
and I saw the cool like workarounds you guys had for signing them and everything. And like that is such a good, like really good idea or whatever that came through. And I like how you guys are literally doing each one. Like that's just so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a rubber stamp digital signing at all. We're literally personalizing it for everybody.
That's just so
right?
Cool.
Which, and it, the neat thing is because we're international, we can do this for all our readers, right? As long as Ingram has a shop that we can send it from, we can do that for everybody. So you're not just getting a bookplate sticker and a signature from one, you're going to get personalized signature from both of us. Some people may not like the fact that it's printed inside the book from Ingram, but it's literally the best way we can do this, especially with the tariffs.
I do understand the part where it sucks, but like most people that get those type of signatures, they're just blanket ones for everybody. Y'all are actually still personalizing it or whatever, and that's so cool. That part just blows it way above beyond everything, honestly, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad you agree. I'm so glad you agree because when the tariff started coming up earlier in the year, I was like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work I mean, a lot of our readers are in the States, and I'm obviously in Canada. So I normally, for North America, will be the one sending out the books, which totally makes sense. It's a lot cheaper for everybody, right? Rather than trying to ship a book from Australia. So I was just like in a bit of a panic about how we were going to do this. And then I had seen somebody else mention it in a Kickstarter group, and I had to investigate what that was. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's probably the perfect solution in a lot of ways. Because it not just solves the problem of how to ship the books without crossing the border, which we can do now. We can just ship the books to any of our readers in the United States without it crossing the border from Canada. So no tariffs, no anything, right? We're all good there. We can do that for just about anybody, right? So it's not just limited to the United States. The only problem is there's not an Ingram print shop in Canada. So I still need to have books sent over the border up here. But right now, at least there's no reciprocal tariffs happening to stop that.
Genius. I love that you guys figured that out. And like, it's just such a good idea. Genius.
Yeah. I know sometimes in Canada right now, there's this sense of, well, you should just be focusing on Canada anyway, and because of the whole political situation, but I don't buy into any of that. We love all of our readers. I don't really care where you live. If you love books, I love you, right? I'm not into any of that. And I'm glad that we found a way that we could keep everybody together,
Absolutely.
Because books are the one thing that has just connected me to so many people I would never have met any other way. It has changed my life completely, becoming a writer.
Books are magic. I absolutely agree. And the booksellers and book people in general from other countries, because I am a sucker for books out of the U.S. I just am. Different editions, whatever. And so I get a lot of emails, but like, during the whole thing where nobody knows what's going on, the back and forth of the tariffs, every single one of them have been so on top of updating, hey, this is what it's going to cost, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, this is so nice. Yeah. I'm like, they still want us to get books.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I'm like,
we're trying.
Right? I'm like, I love it. Books are everywhere. Let's see. So I know how you guys are kind of talking about how you write and everything, but like, who comes up with the idea? Is this something you guys are like, okay, so we're going to write another book. What do we got idea wise? And then just kind of go from there, or?
I don't know. I guess they just come up as we're talking about our story ideas and what characters we have. Um, we already have the next Supernatural Slayers book planned out as far as the plot, and we don't necessarily know that until we start writing. Um, so it's not like it's hard to explain. The ideas just sort of
It
find
almost seems
us
like
as we're
you
discussing them.
guys are like living your own choose your own adventure type situation as you're melting the story together. It's kind of cool. Or like you guys are DMs for a D&D game. See where it goes. That's kind of cool.
It is. One of the most frustrating things for Chris is that we can plan stuff out, right? Well, in order to do this, we do need to have some sort of basic plan as to where the story is going to go and how it's going to end. And we use a program called Plotter sometimes, where we can actually both go in and write down chapter by chapter what
Ooh.
should happen. And I say should because usually by the time we start writing, the characters take a life of their own and they will run with the story, and we have to go chasing them. And it's really crazy the sort of things that can happen, because sometimes Chris will write stuff that I didn't know was going to be in there. So when I'm reading through and doing my bit, he will have added in something and I'll be like, what is this? So now I have to account for this and how this plot's going to roll out. So do we keep it or do we not? Um, and I mean, I've often toyed with the idea of having a Patreon, because I swear there's at least a book's length of stuff that didn't make it into the books that you actually read, just because of all the extra
Oh,
that we
that
put
would be
into
so fun.
everything in order to funnel it into the stories that you end up having. Stuff needs to be trimmed or cut, right? Um, so I think the one that we did the least of that was this latest one. So you really get to capture, the connectivity that we have with it. Um, but a good example of the kind of crazy things that happen with these stories. Um, when we first started writing Mall Priest, uh, that's 3 years ago now. That's just crazy. I didn't, time just goes so fast. Um, So when we first started writing that, it was just basically this mall, a demon invasion, and there's priest, and there's a security guard, and there's all these characters, and the character of Ricky Gibson has always been there. He's kind of evolved over time, but he was this rock star, down on his luck, trying to make a comeback, gets hired for this gig. Okay, so I'm doing revisions, and Chris adds in a crystal shop owner called Crystal. and, and apparently now there's a daycare in this shopping mall with kids in it. And I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
We're having a daycare full of children in a shopping mall during a Christmas Eve apocalypse. What are we going to do with these children? Well, one of the kids that was in this daycare was Bella. And Bella, I didn't know existed until that moment.
Oh, of course.
And so I had to kind of retool the character of Sarah um, Ridley, just because she was like the kind of person where if there was kids in trouble, she was not going to be able to just
Leave them.
go and take care of the rest of the mall. She was going to have to go and
Bye,
find them,
kids.
right? So I know, right? So she had to rescue the kids, and so that kind of changed how the story was going to pull out. And so that's the story you end up reading, right? And Bella ends up, going on to having her own stories later as well with Slasher Cruise. So I don't want to spoil anything, but
That's so fun.
yeah.
No, it's cool.
But yeah, yeah. So that's how, and they all, I don't know. We had such a hard time leaving the Mall Priest books to themselves after we had been in that universe for so long, that the only way we could actually literally write Pumpkin Patch was to keep it in that same universe, but as a standalone, totally separate story, right? So when you read Pumpkin Patch, it came from the Pumpkin Patch. You'll see some cameos and some nods to the Mall Priest universe, because we just couldn't get our heads out of that,
I
right?
mean,
You've
I
been
don't
in there for
blame
so
you.
long.
It's such a cool universe that you've built. How do you just like, you know what? Okay, on to the next thing. But the first thing was so cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that concept was my son Alex's story. He's like, he came up with this really cool idea for a book, and he said we could write it for him. So that's what we did,
That's so
and
cool because
it's just all grown from there.
it was
Yeah,
so it's funny because I ran
absolutely.
across you talking about slasher cruise, and I'm a sucker for anything horror on a cruise, like just done. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign up for the art for this when it comes out. And I was like, in the meantime, here's the Mall
Yeah,
Priest Omnibus. I have time to read this. And then I'm like, why didn't I pick this up sooner? Because it was insane. It was just such a like you dive into it and you can really tell that you guys worked on building this entire freaking universe that this whole story is built into. It
yeah,
was so well rounded. Like you immersed yourself in it. It's amazing.
yeah. And we're still in it. Um, I mean, even the It Came From books, Pumpkin Patch, Flower Shop, they are totally in there as well. They're just standalones, right? So you're going to have a deep dive into totally different characters than what you would have gotten in Mall Priest, because you can't stay with them
Of course,
forever. But it's all set in the same
I
universe,
love
yeah.
stuff like that.
So it just
Interconnectables
allows,
is what I like to call them.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
traveling in another story and
yeah.
you're like, oh, I remember them. Brad Rick, To Hell with Hallmark does that. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I love it. It's like a little fun Easter egg.
yeah. Well, it's a nice. I think a lot of readers do enjoy it just because like it's almost like a reward, you know. It's like you can still say hi to these old people, even if it's just a mention of a place or a character. You're like, oh, I know
Yes,
that,
it's just like when you drive
but it
by a
doesn't take
billboard.
away. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it doesn't take away from the story experience either if you don't know, right? But then you might want to go and find out later, so you can go back and read the other things. So it all works.
Uh,
Yeah.
Talking about how you guys ride
But,
together, I thought of a good fun question.
mhm,
So, have either of you guys
sure.
ever wanted to kill a character and then you guys decided, no, I don't want you to kill them and had to go back and forth on that? Or you guys pretty much like, just, they gotta go, they gotta go?
All all the time, all the time. Um, uh, we do this all the time, and we get attached to the characters as we're writing too. But my whole approach to horror is that death is obviously an integral part of horror, whether you're facing it directly or whether it's grief horror or there's some concept of mortality that you're going to explore. Because a lot of times with horror, that's what you're going to face. That's the ultimate fear of a lot of people is death. Um, and so I always figure with horror, when people are facing that mortality, however it's going to roll out, I never want to kill off a character unless it's absolutely necessary. Like there has to be a reason for them to die in order to move the plot forward, rather than it just being like a gratuitous, oh, that person passed away, oh well. So I don't think from us you're ever going to get one of those stories where you become so attached to a character, um, and they're just for no reason suddenly popped out of existence. Like, poof, sorry, yeah, no, they're gone now. Um, we're very careful with how we approach it because we want it to make sense, and we want you to feel it too. Like if it's a beloved character, you're
Yeah.
going to feel it. You're probably going to get tears because it's going to be that that kind of an experience for you. Again, a lot of people read horror for that, so we're going to give it to you. But a good example of how that works for us too was we really went back and forth with Flower Shop and how it was going to end
Ooh.
and who was actually going to die at the end, because it could have been a number of people, and it could have ended in a number of different ways. And we were like, okay, let's think really clearly about this and make sure that we're making the right choices here. Um, does it need to be like this or does it need to be like that? And what happens if it's one way versus the other? And I think we figured it out pretty good in the end for what it was that we needed to do with it.
So excited for this one. I'm so excited. And learning kind of about how you guys write and everything, it makes it hold on one second. Makes it even more fun because like you get to know like, hey, this isn't just this is what we're doing. It's a back and forth, you guys collaborating together. I don't know. It's just I'm so more excited for the flower shop now.
Yeah. It is a total push and pull of both of us to creates this. It's not one more than the other. It is totally both of our ideas blended together. It's both of our writing styles blended together. He writes some bits. A lot of the best dialogue in there is from Chris, and some of the maybe more emotional moments are probably from me. So we just blend both of ourselves together to create the books. It's I don't know how else to explain it. It is a very strange sort of
But it works
thing.
so well. Like it just blows my mind.
It works, right? Yeah, yeah. And we've never met. We talk sometimes, um, maybe a couple times a year if we need to, just with like voice chats or whatever, just to go over things. But most of the time, we just work with text back and forth, and that's it.
You guys are like such a good team. Like that's amazing. Because you have such good cohesive books that come out of it, good artwork that goes on the covers. Like I love that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, there's times when Chris probably wants to kill me because I can't know stuff until I've done it, right? So it would be really great to be able to plot a story out completely and say, we're going to work on this and this is what we're going to write, because he's really good at that. But then I'll be like, oh, but wait, what if we did this instead? And then we talk about it and go, okay, but like, I know you just literally wrote that, but can we do it this way instead? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to just shred that, 2 days worth of work, but hey, I mean, if it works better for the story, we're going to have to.
From the authors that I've talked to that just do the alone writing, they do the same thing to their own work. They work on something for 2 or 3 days, like the grindstone, and like, nope, hate it, go back to the board and do something else. So, I mean, it's the same process, just it's 2 of you guys instead of 1.
Exactly.
But you guys do a great job at
it. But I think it takes a lot of I think it just takes a lot of trust too. And putting our egos aside to say, okay, maybe I was wrong about that choice. Let's do it your way. Or maybe I was right about that choice. Can we do it this way? You know what I mean? Absolutely. You have to really put your egos aside and just work on what's best for the story, just so that we can create that together. But I don't even know if I can write anymore without Chris being involved.
I was about to ask that.
We've just done
do you guys ever think you to write by yourself again? Because like after a while, especially 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have. I don't know if I like it, but we have. In January, we were part of an anthology called Crumpled, which came out end of January. And in that, you can actually see 2 stories. One is from Chris, one is from myself. And they're separate. We wrote those separately. So you can kind of maybe get a bit of an idea of, what our style would be like separately. But neither of them, I think, were really showcasing our abilities as writers. Just because that was a compilation of what had been rejected stories.
Which was also a very cool idea. It's nice to get to see like everything sometimes. I'm a big short story anthology person because I'm like, okay, I get to see a showcase of a bunch of different authors, little snippets. So I enjoyed Crumpled. Mm-hmm. It was interesting to see some older stuff from people when they first started out writing, stuff like that.
Well, Jill Jill Glenn, she does the Wicked Ouija Press. She's the one that put all of that together. And I know the cover art was done by Savannah Fisher as well. And I think they both, I mean, they're
So
such nice
cool.
people. I love them. They're just really good people. And I have to thank them both for the job they did in putting that book together.
Savannah made
Yeah.
me a
It was
logo
good.
for Scarlet Anomaly Reads, and I just love it so much. I'm like, you do such a good job. I don't know. I like your artwork. It's cool. I'm a sucker for artwork.
She is wonderful. Yeah. I mean, she has so many covers that she does now, and they're all just really great. So she's really coming up, I think, as being a cover artist as well as a writer. It's amazing to
It's
see.
cool that we get to be in this
Yeah.
community with everybody and get to see them start out from, hey, I don't even have a book or have a cover,
Yeah.
to, oh my God, I'm selling this, and it's in the Barnes and Noble, or it's on Ingram,
Yeah.
or you can get it on Amazon, and I'm like, I love it. I love the whole community.
Yeah.
I've met some really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have to give a shout out too to Fright Night Audio and Joe Hempel for taking us on for doing the audiobooks for Mall Priest, as well as Slasher Cruise, which is coming up. That one should be ready soon. Um, and I have a special announcement. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm really supposed to say this one yet because I was saving it for a surprise. But it's coming fast because I've been in talks with Joe about Pumpkin Patch, and he's also going to be doing that one himself.
I love his
So
narration. So,
yeah,
oh my goodness. Like Joe,
yeah,
like I'm one of Joe. I'm about to say Joe has his own following. Like I'm not one of them. But like literally, I don't care if he's narrated something. I will check it out anyway, even if it's not something that I typically read. And I know there's others like me. So
yeah,
you got a good narrator.
yeah. So Joe Hempel, yeah, I believe he's going to be doing some lives actually while he's narrating that in October here. So
Yes.
that should be
Yes,
fun.
I'm gonna have to check that. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
You guys have so much cool stuff coming up.
it should be good.
Outside of the flower shop, do you guys have any ideas of what you're going to be working on coming up in the future, or are you just getting through flower shop first?
Well, right now we're just trying to get Flower Shop finished. Next year we have 2 more books lined up because we do them twice a year. We usually have a spring release in April and another one in October. And our pattern right now is to have Supernatural Slayers books in April and the Halloween themed horrors in October. So we'll have Supernatural Slayers 2, which should be really interesting. Yep, that one should be interesting in April. And then next October, this time next year, we'll have another It Came From story. And we're in talks right now as to which exactly that one will be. But I think we have a pretty good idea.
I'm looking forward to that too. You guys just write such fun, cool books that it's hard not to get excited about. Like I don't even know what they're about. Don't really care. But I know they're gonna be good. So I'm like,
I love it. We've become auto buys.
yes,
Yay!
yes. Wonderful. So I know you guys live in different places, clearly, so it makes a lot of things hard. Do you guys go to like separate like conventions or any signings or do anything like that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Chris does a lot of. Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a totally different reader base, I think. I mean, it's the same kind of people, but in Australia, at the Supernova conventions that Chris does, um, there's almost like an author's alley rather than artist alley. Whereas in Canada, I find that at I've done Niagara Falls Comic Con. It's not the same. It's just not as present there. So people don't expect to see authors at a Comic Con unless you're like a showcased author, for instance, as a guest. But in Artist Alley, which is where you would be, a lot of times people aren't expecting to see that in Canada. I have found a lot of readers that way though. So I've done that. I didn't do it this last year, but I've done it for about 3 or 4 years before, after COVID, of course. And Chris is, he's got, what is it now? I think it's Brisbane and Adelaide coming up. So he's going to be doing both of those for Supernova. And he's done them for a number of years, and he's met a lot of readers there too. So it's been really, really good. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the things I'd like to do, but doing events is really very taxing. Like it takes a lot of energy, and I have some autoimmune issues, so it makes it difficult for me to do them. So when I am there, it's really good. I love meeting people in person and getting to chat with our readers and seeing other authors. It's just,
No,
I love
I
it.
absolutely
It's you always come.
go ahead.
Oh
Oh,
no,
I was
it's
gonna
okay.
say I always love events and going to stuff, but I too am also on a timer, and when that timer's up, I'm done. I have to go home, shut myself away,
Yeah,
and recharge for a bit, and it just takes it out of me. But they're so fun, so fun.
they are. Yeah, yeah. It took me about 3 days to recover from the 1 day event I just did last weekend at DreadCon, which was really, really well run. I have to give a nod to Michelle and her team for putting on such a great event. I mean, it's the second year running. She's working really hard to try and create a great dark fiction convention, right? Because there isn't really a lot of that in Canada, which is surprising. But hopefully we can do it again
It
next
did.
year.
I seen pictures from
That'd be
that too,
great.
and it also looked fun. I've just been seeing so many pictures from so many conventions here lately because I guess it's convention time, and
It is.
so
Yeah.
so fun. Costumes, signings, everybody just having the best time. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I just completely lost my train of thought, and I had such a good question. But
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
so conventions. Oh, groups. So I know you guys started a little cool art group where you have a bunch of authors that put their arts
Yeah.
in, and you guys invited some people. What kind of like groups other than that or that one itself do you like to hang out in? Because I'm always looking for new groups that don't suck. Um, no pressure.
um, yeah, you know what? I'm not on social media probably nearly as much as I should be, because it's probably the best way that you're going to be able to reach readers. But it's just the amount of time that's required
You
to
already
put
have to
into
write
it.
the
So I'm
whole
not in
stories,
groups as much as
so
I should. Yeah, yeah. On top of full-time jobs, and families and stuff, it's like, where do you fit it in? And I also do the formatting. We have a team that does our editing, Katie and Kayleen. They're wonderful. They're in Australia. But the bulk of it, that's me doing that stuff, right? Um,
sorry, alarm that I didn't set.
um, so I don't know. Time is always an issue. I have been in the Books of Horror group for I guess a couple years, anyways. After Mall Priest came out, I was like, we probably should try and find where horror readers are. So we joined that.
Try to hang out
Uh,
with them, act cool, rub some elbows.
yep, yep. Try and find out what people are liking too. Like what are people interested in reading these days? And horror is such a wide spectrum. You can find just about anything that'll suit your needs, right? So it's really cool. We do have our own reader group as well. It's called Casey Stories. Um,
I enjoy that. It's kind of nice and light and books and you guys. I like it. It's a nice vibe.
well, we just share memes and information, and authors can come in and talk about their books if they have something coming out. And if people would like that, then they can. If not, that's okay. We don't put a lot of pressure on people to constantly have to participate. I just feel like there's always so much demand on our time anyway. Do we really need to always be saying, "Hey, look at me," And that probably is a problem for us because both Chris and I are not extroverts. We're very shy people. So social media has been a challenge for us, I guess, in that respect, with having to put ourselves out there. For instance, I don't normally do videos, but um, I need to do more, right? So here we are, and I appreciate you giving me the time today to do this.
I'm excited
So,
you wanted to be on it.
what was that? Sorry.
I said I'm excited that you accepted and wanted to be on
Oh,
because
oh,
I am also
thank
very
you.
introverted versus, despite the fact it doesn't look like I am, I really am. So I always love it when people are like, yes, I absolutely want to be on. I'm like, yes, okay, we can talk and it doesn't make it weird. Yes. So thank you.
I guess maybe a lot of us are shy, and maybe it just seems like people are extroverted, but
Maybe that is
maybe
true.
most of us actually aren't.
Because
Especially creative types, right? They're like
I think that's made it much
caught in that.
easier how many people in the creative community I've found out literally are just as introverted as I am. I'm like, oh, cool. So we're both super anxious.
Mhm.
This makes this much easier.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, right?
Um,
I think as creatives, we get caught in that you have to put ourselves out there to be seen because you need people to see your art for it to have a life,
yeah.
right? Um, but on the other hand, you just want to hide.
Can I just stay in my house and write? To like that's what you're supposed to do, but no.
Exactly. Books just sell themselves.
I wish. But I do appreciate you guys that do hop out there and mingle in the community and then post your stuff because that's how I see it half the time. And I'm like, oh, yes, I remember this now. And then I have to share it because I'm also excited. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Um,
I mean, we would have a terrible time if it wasn't for people like yourself, who take the time to have an interest in the stories and share your love of all the books. I mean, what you do, Alexis, is just amazing. I mean, truly, it is amazing. And I know very much appreciated, not by just Chris and myself, but by the entire community. So
Thank you.
it's thank you for thinking of me. That was awesome. And I'm very honored to have been on your show,
Thank you
your
so much.
podcast.
Well, I hope in the future when we're doing more super cool stuff that you'll want to participate and be in it too because we really want to just get out there and get everybody's names, their books, the artists. Like, it needs to be out there because indie is just as good as traditional, in my opinion. Seriously. Like, the stories are good. Maybe it needs a
Yep,
little bit of extra editing or a little bit of
yep,
a better cover, but seriously, everybody starts out at the same place anyway. Um,
exactly, right? Um, yeah, I mean, I think we all suffer from imposter syndrome a lot of the time. And so if you think, as an indie author, I'm not going to be as good as somebody who's a trad pub, or feel intimidated to go and ask somebody if they would like to read or any advice they can give. But being on the other side of that shoe, I find that a lot of people are just uh, very open and welcoming. So if people have questions and stuff and say, wow, you've been doing this for like 10 years, you must probably know something, right? Do you mind sharing that with me? People will probably find that, yeah, sure, where a lot of people are willing to just talk and share advice and things. And it's really nice to have that too,
Absolutely.
um,
I've made
because you can't know what you don't know until you get there.
absolutely like anytime I've done something and I'm like, listen, this absolutely flopped. When I see somebody else trying it out, I'm like, here's what happened when I tried it. You might want to pivot a little bit, but go for it. Because
Yeah,
like that's what you have to do. I don't want to watch them do the same thing I did and then be like, well, this sucked, and waste their time. So it's always nice that people like reach
yeah,
out and then people tell me the same thing. Hey, I tried this. Maybe you want to do that. And I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. Information.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, and I like to give back when I can too. So um in the Ghoulish Games group where authors kind of hang out to share advice on how to handle, marketing and promotion and try and get our books seen. Um, I did a post recently about the digital signing as an option, just for people to still be able to get their books out there to people. If the international authors were going to find it a bit of a barrier right now for shipping, and I think it maybe helped a few people. I'm not sure.
Because
So
when
I think
most people see
sharing,
digital signing, they think about the facsimile signing. Like, but what you guys are doing, in my opinion, completely freaking different. And if people did that
yeah.
instead, I think you'd be so much more receptive, quite honestly.
Well, yeah. So I think with Flower Shop coming out, we're going to be doing it with that one. So we're going to have to show people what it looks like for people to understand what that is and how it works, and that it's just as good, if not better, than, because you don't have to spend like a fortune on shipping to get your books personalized and signed by us, and
Either a fortune or you have to get a book plate from one and signed by the other. And, like, that's
yeah,
fine too, but this is so, I
it
don't know,
does.
this is so much better.
Yeah, I think so too. Um,
Absolutely.
and just from the orders that have come in of interest, I think about 90% of people have opted for that, regardless of where they live, just so that they can have that from both of us, rather than just people in Australia just having Chris sign, or people in Canada just having me sign, that kind of thing. And then a book plate from the other. This you're getting get a message from both of us. You're going to get personalized from both of us, so it's better. Yeah.
I agree. Totally agree. And you guys are so genius. I think if this catches on, it's going to be something really, really cool for a lot of people. Because, like, there's so many
Yeah.
indie authors that aren't in the US and aren't
Yeah.
in the UK and aren't in this area. Now,
Yeah.
all those anthologies that get done with people from everywhere, this
Yeah.
is an option. Okay.
Exactly right. You could even have all the authors involved in the anthology do, sign it and then send it, right? And then it's just up to the one person to submit it to Ingram, which would be the publisher of the anthology, right? So
Exactly.
you get all of the authors signing it. Um, and the way it works with Ingram, batch run. So if you did actually want all of the books within that batch to be the same with the same signatures, you could do that too. If like you need to do 10 copies for a signing or something,
People who do
and
mini book clubs.
you you can it has
Ooh,
so
I'm
much
about to be telling so
potential.
many people.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So if you wanted a special edition with a special insert for a convention to share with your convention goers, you could do the same thing and just do like a limited run of like 20, if that's how many you thought you were going to sell. And there you go. Just convention special edition. Same cover, but on the interior will have that first page dedicated to all the convention goers, or however you wanted it to be. So the possibilities are endless, really. Yeah.
Yeah, such a good idea. See, things like this in the indie world, coming up with ideas and making things happen. I love it. It's what I love about the indie
Hmm.
horror community and the
Yeah.
community in general.
Yeah.
Well,
For
I don't
sure.
want to keep you too much
Yeah.
longer because, of course, I've already almost kept you an
Okay.
hour. Is there anything else you want to tell us about, shout out about, books, people, groups, anything at all?
I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. um,
I'm going to put
I'm sure I'm
all the
forgetting
fun stuff,
stuff.
your websites and all that stuff in the description when this
Okay.
goes out, so you don't have to worry about that. So I got that part covered.
Okay. Um,
Um,
I think probably a big shout out to the Chaos Scribes, because they're such wonderful authors to work with. A lot of new voices, new up and coming authors in that one. So people got to keep that on their radar, because these are good people. They're going to be making
yes.
waves in a few years. Um, Definitely take heed. And there's such very nice, supportive people, and I wouldn't have met them without, of course, Gage Greenwood having started the group in the first place. And even though he's pulled back from it all now, we're continuing on with our own, and staying connected. And it's just been such a wonderful experience. And also our beta reader, Sam, he's just been so great. I found him through Mall Priest of all things, as I have found many people. He read it, I think, through Book Sirens, and we connected through that. And he's become one of our number one beta readers, and his insight into everything has just been so great. And I have to attribute some change to our books with that too, because he's able to give us some feedback on how things are going while we're writing. So it's been great. And just our families and everybody, all our readers, everyone's just so, I mean, we love you, right? we actually really do. We wouldn't do this if it wasn't for the support of the community, all of our readers, all of the book lovers, all over the place. Some of my readers from the romance community have transferred over to reading the horror, rather reluctantly at times, but they have come along because they trusted us with our stories
I love
and
that.
knew that we're going to have a good experience with it. So I appreciate that too, because it can be daunting. It's
That's a
like,
big
wait, why
jump
aren't
for
you writing
romance
that again?
readers, to be fair.
Yeah. Sometimes I think there's not too much difference between horror and romance. It's just whether or
I
not
mean,
there's going to be a happy ending.
To be fair, you are correct. But yeah, no, it's fun, though.
I mean, the character development's all the same, all of that stuff. It's just really how it rolls out in the end, and whether or not you're going to have some spooky, scary, creepy scenes in there or not. But even in romance, I mean, dark romance is such a big thing these days, right? Like it's all there. It just depends on how that ending is going to
I
happen.
used to read books when I was younger that I didn't think about being very romancy, but now that I'm older, I'm like, wait, was that what I was reading? Like, I used to dig through, like, Phyllis A. Whitney had the Harlequin type covers, and I'm like, oh, this is just a thriller.
Yeah.
This is just a mystery
Yeah.
when I was younger, and now I'm like, wait, what's that?
Yeah.
So,
Well, for sure. I mean, if you get into the romantic suspense, for sure. I mean, it's just like a thriller, but with maybe a little bit more focus on the two characters and how they connect.
exactly. So that's fun, and that's another thing about horror, like I said, or and like you've said as well. There's something for everybody, and it encompasses like so much.
Yeah, it is. It does. I mean, ours are not extreme horror, so I hope no one ever reads them expecting them to be, because that's just not where our comfort zone is. They're not splatterpunk either, which would be much more focus on the gore plus making I guess, a point with
Yeah.
it, right? Whereas extreme is just kind of like extreme. But I mean, it's horror, right? So if people were thinking that there's not going to be anybody dying or any blood or guts, then no, you're wrong, because that's in there too. It's just not
wrapped up in a different
it's not as extreme as
setting,
yes,
which I enjoy.
yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and I of course have this one. This one is beautiful. I'm going to show it off before we leave.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got this, I showed my boyfriend, and I basically screamed because it's just so beautiful. Like, look at the inside cover. You guys did so much for this. Like,
Thank you.
I don't even. And
Yeah.
then all the little stickers
I know.
you guys had together.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I really am. I mean, I was more than happy to get you that, and I mean, as thank you so much for all your support. I think there's a debate going on with that book as to whether or not the red cover or the blue cover people like
So
better.
I actually.
So I've kept them both because
Yes, that's what I was about to tell you. Is like I really enjoyed when I opened it up. Like you have the red one on the outside, but I also really love the blue one, and I like that you have both basically.
Yeah.
Because if you had just done the same thing, of course it would have been fine. But there's just something about doing both that makes it pop, and it makes it so much more special, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Slasher was such a fun one. We didn't realize it was going to be a Buffy tribute until we had written it. Neither of us had watched Buffy too much, and then um, when I started watching the series again, I was like, wait,
Wait,
this is this is Buffy. This book is Buffy. Like, how did we do that? I don't know. That just
I
happened,
love
right?
it.
Like, it wasn't intended, but it came that way, so we rolled with it, and so that's why I ended up doing the blue cover as well. Because I don't think it's plotted as a traditional slasher per se, but it's still very
It was.
slasher-y. You know what I mean?
It was
So
so much of so many different things that I feel like I've loved over the years in one book, and that's just what made it special. It wasn't just a slasher. It wasn't just you're stuck on a cruise ship. It wasn't just, Buffy. It was
yeah,
everything, and it was just so good. So
yeah,
good.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway,
Thank
taking up
you.
enough of your time today. Thank you so, so, so much for being on here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alex. It's been wonderful to talk with you. And I do appreciate you taking the time to do these interviews with everybody because it's great. Everything that you do is so wonderful and much appreciated. So thank you. And I hope everybody finds a book somewhere. It doesn't even have to be ours, but find a book that you really
Yes, there's a book
enjoy because
for
books
everyone.
are the soul of the world.
I absolutely agree as well. Thank you again so much.